Every single play, from the trenches to the touchdown, leading the way. Pigskin platoon, yeah, it's the Pigskin platoon.
Welcome to Pigskin Platoon. So we're your hosts. I'm Boston.
And I'm Christian.
So we talk about it all: dynasty offense and defense, who to start, who to sit. We also talk about trades, rumors, rookie drafts, and breaking news on players and coaches. Draft, deploy, dominate.
I should
Well,
get it on recording.
it should have been.
All right, guys.
What's up?
Welcome. We got someone getting beat up over here, it looks like.
Sorry, I apologize.
Okay, so our top 5 now is going to be on our IDP defensive backs. And so our top 5 that we have, starting at number 5, we want to talk about Jalen Petrie. And again, these guys are going to be it's not going to be as strong as it's going to be like with your linebackers. So with your defensive backs, it takes like a special person to kind of be consistent. And Derwin James is probably one of the biggest like consistent, as long as he's healthy, one of the most consistent uh, uh, players on the field that can put up rack up points and stuff like that. So to start off with it, Jalen Petrie, last year he had he was played in 17 games, and he had 89 tackles, 4 interceptions, 8 pass breakups, and 1 forced fumble. Yeah, this guy is really, really good, and not a whole lot of people are really talking about him. I've seen him on about, I want to say, I think it was 50 to 60% of people's rosters. And I think he's probably the safest bet when it comes to later rounds, getting start working on developing your defense and trying to find that identity that you want as your team. And I think Jalen Petrie, he even has like a long career coming up. Still, he's super young. Playing in the Houston Texans, I think is like the special spot for him, because him and Devin Singletary and Will Anderson, like these guys are all getting their shares in points. But I think Jalen Petrie is definitely going to jump out this year, and he's going to be one that's going to be talked about the most. He's very versatile. He creates points in multiple different ways that you don't really see in most uh, safeties. And he makes perfect, spectacular tackles, and he's always like confusing the quarterback. And this is the kind of guy that I would much rather have than others. And just because I like younger players that are healthy and that are consistent, this guy is just flying under the radar so much, and not a whole lot of people really talk about him as much as they should.
No. So looking at a lot of his stats for fantasy from last year, he was putting up double-digit points pretty much every game. He did kind of so he got injured, right?
Yeah,
Last year?
I think no, he played in all 17 games.
Okay. So then there was a stretch of 3 games that he kind of got shut down and didn't do too much.
Okay.
But a vast majority of his stuff, I mean, he had one game against Baltimore with top offense, or an elite offense. He put up 20.5 points against Baltimore.
Yeah.
So
And that's
I
against
just
Lamar Jackson, everybody.
Lamar Jackson, you got Derrick Henry, you got all these guys.
Yep.
So so last season he put up 169 points. His 24 season, 156. His 23 season, um, he put up 195. And this should be a testimony to how good of a player he is when given the opportunity, because his rookie season he put up 338 points. So
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of bumps in here, but there's the ceiling there. You know how good he can be. And what his worst season is 156 points. I
Yeah.
think he's gonna do great.
Yeah, he's gonna stay consistent. He's gonna stay on top. And like, yeah, like you shouted out, his rookie year was phenomenal
Hmm.
for a safety to put up. not even like just 200 points alone is like a big standout for dynasty IDPs, but to go all the way up to like what was it, over 300 points, like a little over 300
130,
points
yeah.
is like insane.
That's something you'd think for a safety, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's a safety that you want on your team that not a whole lot of people are really like kind of like talking about, not a top five. And I think by maybe either this year or next year, he's going to be in the top five or top 10, maybe even top five as well.
Agreed.
Okay, number four, Tyler Newbin. Last year he hit 96 total tackles, three interceptions, 10 pass defended, and two forced fumbles. So that's already like pretty good on sleeper points. Um, he's definitely going to make a much bigger leap um, to like elevate himself on this team. He's definitely going to be more of a standout with the Giants. And that defensive back crew, that secondary is already like underrated in my opinion. And when you already got a, a stellar coach and you got an offense that's starting to build and find their identity, you know, you're going to get a lot more production. And I love when you see like new coaches come in to different teams because then it's like, oh, maybe they see something in either some of these players that no one talks about, or they have a new scheme that even fits better for some of their star players. And I think Tyler Newbin is definitely going to be someone that's going to be talked about after this year. He's very consistent. He's got a huge IQ with the ball, and he's another one of those that makes a lot of quarterbacks scratch their head, trying to figure out where he's at.
hmm So he put up pretty good points last year. Most of his games were double-digit points. He had a couple against the Rams, got a really good defense there, a really good offense there, and Washington Commanders right at the beginning of the season.
Mhm.
And he had two games, Green Bay and Detroit. It didn't look like he had any points those games, and then Vegas and Dallas towards the end of the season. Um, but he still winded up putting up 166.4 points this or last year, and then his rookie year at 192. So he's a guy that right now it shows that he's in 40 or sorry 54% of rosters, and he started 35% of the time. So project this to jump up. New head coach more of a defensive mindset, guy who's had juggernaut defenses throughout his whole career as a head coach with Baltimore, and still has a good defense today. To just take this guy and he's going to elevate him. Only his second year, so he's still got time to learn. So
Yeah,
he's going to be a guy that's going to be a good pickup.
yeah, I completely like. Yeah, that's why I chose him because I think with the scheme that Harbaugh brings to the table, I think he's going to be a big time, like you said, elevate him and make him more of a standout safety, and just be a big part of that defense. That the
Mhm.
defense needs a really strong like number one like I mean I don't know if I would say captain, but just that number one guy to really look forward and to look and see for turnovers and really stand out. So, yeah, I think he's going to be a one that's going to put up a lot of points. He's going to be a more consistent after this year. So I wouldn't
Mhm.
waste time if he's available. I would 100% get him.
Absolutely.
Okay, so next we have coming in at number three, we got Nick Cross. Out of he's 24 years old and he's from the Washington Commanders. So last year, whew, this guy with his tackles, he had 118 total tackles, two interceptions, seven pass sorry, excuse me, defended, and two forced fumbles. Um, he's not like your I don't know, what would you say, like Derwin James. He's not your like uh Julian Love, he's
Hmm.
not Talanoa Funga, he's not like a big flashy type safety, but he's
Yeah.
very consistent in what he does. He's always being flying or flown under the radar so much. Like not a lot of people really talk about him. I think it's just because like his age. He's definitely a much younger safety, but I think with Nick Cross, he's going to continue to elevate himself and be a top star. That's why I'm pushing him closer to number one because I feel like there's a lot of really good potential with him. And with a defense like this, I feel like the coaching set that they have, he is definitely a player that you're gonna want and definitely help win you championships. Um, there's just no question about it.
Hmm. I mean, just looking at his stats here. So last year, 260 points. Previous year, 305. His 23 year, 67, and then his rookie year is only 24. I mean, that's about expected for most guys who are rookies. You don't really too much see them put up a whole bunch of points, but clearly you saw Indianapolis needed him.
Yep.
And then what we're going to see right here is we're going to see the Commanders are going to need a guy that's going to come in and do really good. So his points, you're talking 17, 15, 15, 26, 14, 12, 19. Lower game against Tennessee was 6, 10, 15. He didn't get any points week 11, but 19, 13, 11, 15, 10, 20 and a half. Like, poof, like that's
Yeah.
jaw dropping for a guy like
This
that.
this dude is on another level of staying so consistent and staying healthy. That's the biggest
Hmm.
thing. It's the biggest thing that I always harp on is if it's a guy that is consistently getting injured, it's so hard to rely on him. Yes, I know that we're supposed to be pushing more on guys like Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry. They're getting older, but at the same time, they are still putting up value. I was shocked last year with Christian McCaffrey. Like it was just hard for me to like wrap my brain around the fact of like how injured he has been and then get the production that he did last year. I you know I it is a gamble each year, and you never know what's gonna happen. But when it comes to like non-injury players, yes, there's always that chance that everyone can get injured, but you have like a better chance with people that are not and staying on the safer side. If
Hmm.
you're trying to build a strong multiple year contention, then stick with more guys that are going to be more reliable and not get injured as easily
Hmm.
than others that are like just shove the ball every single play. Like yeah, you're gonna get the points, but you might get 5 or 6 games in and then like oh yeah, I'm good, and then all of a sudden boom, done.
Don't have that.
Yeah.
Well,
All
that's the
right.
best thing about
Well,
him is he's young. So that's the best thing about him. He's still pretty young. He's only 24.
yeah, yeah. He's
So
24. He's got a long career ahead of him still.
he
He's going to
does.
build up so much points. And again, these are guys that no one really talks about. But the last two guys, I wouldn't say biased, but um, these last two guys have obviously been like proving it each and every year. But I think these years are still like they're still strong and they're still gonna continue to put up the amount of points that they have been, just because of how consistent they are. So coming in at number two, we have last year's stats were like impressive, so impressive. But Jesse Bates the third, he is still one of the best safeties in the league, arguably. I genuinely think that he, even with his age, he is still he looks like he's like 24 out there, 25 years old. So last year he had just five short of 100 tackles in total. He had 3 interceptions. He had 10 pass defended, two forced fumbles, and one defensive return. Um, yeah. What else more can you ask from a defensive back than that? Um, that's why majority of everyone's dynasty, the percentage of them are on favor with Jesse Bates, and he's so reliable. He's such a good player. He's out there working each and every day. Um, he is just one of those IQ'd like defensive backs that you you wouldn't be able to really throw that way as much. But gosh, he's just all over the field each and every play that I see him in. He like every time I watch him, he's part of that tackle. And that's what I love about safeties that just get in the grind of it, in the roots
Mhm.
of the plays.
I would agree. Don't sleep on these guys that are older because look at especially when you look at the points that he's producing. So last year at 220, 222.3, 251, 330, 159, was a little bit of a dip, 225. He's averaging over 200 points per season here.
Mhm.
So it's like Bobby Wagner. God, I don't know why that guy's still he's a free agent. Uh,
I don't get it either.
he's been so good for so long and continues to show that. He's been in the league forever. So there's some of these older guys don't sleep on it, especially if they have points like this and their score like this. He's what? This Bates is 80 78% of the roster,
Mhm.
and he's started 52% of the time.
Right.
Um I think that number could probably be a little higher, but he's just a guy that would be outstanding to have as your cornerstone on your team to be there when you need him.
Yep. I fully agree. Yeah, I think even like when it comes to defense players, I feel like you can get away with more years out of them than most offense players. Obviously, just because they don't get like they're not the ones getting tackled.
Hmm.
So that's why like these productions are like so consistent on these players that are on defense. But again, like when we talked about several episodes ago, you don't want to like put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to defense players, because you never know what day they're going to go off and what day they're not going to go off. They could go, almost 40 points one game and then completely hit 5 points the next game. Like it's just not like offense where you can, be consistent. But that's where like it's so much fun to like play with defense players, and I so highly recommend these videos getting out to people that are on the fence of either going deep, just going into more depth with defense players, people that are so passionate with football. This is where like your playground is. It's like your mobile franchise for like Madden. It's like you can play with so much, and it's so consistent each year. Like you're on it doing trades
Hmm.
and doing other, stuff like looking at free agencies, looking at the markets, looking at who's getting signed, who's not, who's getting in trouble, like, and you can gauge that each and every year to try and make a game plan. And like that's what I'm always about. Like each and every day I'm always like checking sleeper, and I'm always checking like all the news castings that are being posted out there, and just kind of seeing what people are talking about with certain players, and then I kind of shoot out there, and I'll literally sit there and look through each defense players and or offense players and see who's sneaky, that's like no one's talking about, no one sees. I try to snatch them up, and I get like head scratchers, emojis, or people telling me like, "What are you doing?" But I'm like, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna see what happens with these guys first before someone else does, and then it's too late for me.
I think that's the biggest thing is like knowing coming into all this. A lot of people are like, defense doesn't really matter. It's all about skill positions on offense. So I I know this year's draft because I'm starting fresh, never drafted dynasty before, and I'm excited to see what kind of defenses we build this year.
Yeah, I fully agree. Yeah, like uh I know there's a few people in in our league that are have been doing a lot of studying, and I'm a little excited. Like I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited because um, the the people that we have, like they can surprise you with stealing players that you have like on a queue, and just putting this on the record too. When it gets closer to that date, we are going to try and live stream uh, our our sleeper draft. So please like watch and just like have fun with all of us hanging out and having a great time just kind of doing the draft. And you'll probably see a lot of like freak out moments between him and between you and I and
Mhm.
with some other people around us at the time that we're doing the stream. But yeah, just definitely come and watch us and we're gonna have a good time.
I'm gonna tell you this: you're gonna be in for a surprise when we draft this year.
Oh, I am.
Oh yeah,
Oh boy.
can't say what, but you're gonna find out here in a minute.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna be if you give me a surprise and I don't like that surprise, I'm going after every single one of your Broncos. Every
Wow.
pick will be a Bronco player. I'm just kidding. I don't even care. Okay. All right. So the last but not least, not a whole lot of people, but a lot of people do talk about him. So it's kind of like a 50-50. Xavier McKinney coming at number one. Last year, he had 102 tackles, four interceptions, 11 pass defended, and two forced fumbles. Once again, this guy is taking the safety position by storm and like just wowing everybody. Like the last like what 2 to 3 years, he has been like Mr. Interception guy. Like it's so hard to like try and throw a ball down the field and then see that guy just come swooping across and catching them, you know? He creates so many turnovers, this guy. And that's why I like him on the Packers, because the Packers definitely need the structure on defense to make these turnovers to help that offense go a little bit further and help win these games. A lot
Hmm.
of people like I've talked to quite a few Packers fans, and you know if there's any Packers fans that are watching and think otherwise, but I've talked to a few Packers fans and like they say that their team is not like where they want it to be. But I see like really good talent on both sides of the field. And I'm excited to see not just my Seahawks play, but I'm excited to see how the Packers do this year. It'll be really fun to watch and see how well they can elevate through a lot of the um, challenges they've been through over the
Hmm.
off season. But yeah, Xavier McKinney. Why I choose him? It's because he is just so brilliant in the way he plays. He's like 27, but when they acquired him, they knew what he was, and he has just been nonstop killing machine out there, just getting those turnovers. And that's what you want, absolutely what you want in your league.
Yeah, I mean he's done pretty good. I mean, you look at a lot of his points, 2025, he had 202, 24, 243, 23, 271. He dipped his second to last year with the Giants here at 99, and then his second year in the league, 227, and then his rookie year, 50. So he's going to be another guy that I think he should probably be started more and definitely rostered more. He's at 70% roster and a 46% start rate. So,
Yeah. And so like that's a good example too. You have Jesse Bates where he's at 78% rostered, and then there's that other 8% that don't even have McKinney rostered.
mhm,
And he is just as good, if not consistent enough or more than Jesse Bates is.
yeah.
He's at the same level as JC Bates, and everybody knows JC Bates. and that's why he is my number one, and I think he is going to continue to elevate himself for the next couple more years throughout his prime.
Mhm. He's gonna do great.
Yeah. So I do have three honorable mentions that I want to shout out to. I know one of them we kind of talked about just briefly, but the one big guy that I have on here that is a no-brainer, and I'm sure a lot of people are probably wondering why I didn't have him in my top five, but I think because of maybe his injury and maybe because he's on this particular team. I'm not sure, but I do love this safety. But it's my number one honorable mention is Brian Branch. With the Detroit Lions, last year he had 75 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 9 pass defended, and 1 forced fumble. He did definitely miss time for sure. Uh, so who knows? You know, if he could bounce back and have a bigger year, I would like to hope so because I would have loved to have had him in my top five. But I'm a little leery with him. That's why that's why I got him in my honorables. But I think he'll still be a guy that'll produce points. I just don't know if he's in that level tier that I'm kind of looking for. Um, at this point in time. So another guy, also a big time veteran, Derwin James. Granted, he is when he's on the field and healthy, he is putting up the points like not like no tomorrow. But when he does get injured, then he's out, and then
Mhm.
then you don't have your top safety anymore. And I think it's just because he's starting to get a bit older. He's about the same age. I think he's about the same age as Jesse Bates, is he not? Um,
Right, yeah.
yeah, he's about 29, 30 years old, somewhere on there. But with Derwin James, I do love him and like he is such a good safety. He is so fun to watch. He's got some huge, huge big hit plays, which make it so much more fun to watch. Kind of reminds me of like he's like the modern day like Cam Chancellor, and I just absolutely loved the way Cam Chancellor played. It sucks that he went out the way he did. And so my last guy that I think is going to continue rising up, and then he'll be definitely one of the guys that I'm going to probably mention maybe even next year in my top five is his highlights this year was, or I'm sorry, the guy that I'm talking about is Tiki Smith out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Um, Last year he had 110 or I'm sorry, 100 tackles, 13 pass breakups, 2 sacks, and he was one of the league's most efficient tacklers among all defensive backs. So I think with his age, I think he's like 23, 24. Um, he is so young and he's going to have a huge breakout this year, I think. Uh, uh, I think if that's the case, then he is definitely going to be in my top five for sure next year.
Yeah. That's a big thing for me. Like I look forward to seeing how these guys do, these DBs. These are the kind of the ones that I struggle with. So
Yeah.
like going through all this stuff and listening to what you have to say because you are the veteran when it comes to all this stuff, it's good to know. So this guy's got a lot of info. So
I mean, I'm not the expert, but the more times we play, I know. I definitely I learned a lot of my stuff over the years from a few people. So like it definitely helps to really just kind of sit back and just soak in all the information. And there's a lot of players, it's so hard to keep up with, but it's so much fun to talk about these guys, and I could go on forever with these guys if I could.
mm, well, I look forward to it because it's gonna be interesting, and I look forward to hearing your guys' comments on throughout all these videos to get some of the information maybe that we overlooked.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. If you think that we missed somebody, unless you have, if you have some mentions that you would like to put in, please like watch our or please comment down below and let us know. We would love to take your feedback and, make it even better, or maybe there's something that we missed that we wanna talk about next time. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, my man. Well, peace.
See you, sir.
That's it from us today. Pigskin Platoon, where football lives.
And hot takes fly like bad trades.
2 voices, 1 game.
We'll catch you on the next snap.
Thank you for watching, and smash that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you can catch all of the updates on all football from us. And comment down below and let us know how we did and where we can do better at. We appreciate it, and have a good one.